Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about this video because I got the Kobo Libra color. I did a lot of research into kind of what e-reader I should get and which company I should support and kind of which one would be a better fit for myself. So I'll tell you about that and also why I decided to buy an e-reader and why I'm kind of transitioning into the ebook system a bit more these days. And so yeah, let's get to unboxing. So what happened was I have this Kindle that my boyfriend so graciously lended me, and I saw Beware of Pity by Stephen Zweiig on Amazon on sale for $1, and so I was like, I have to get it. It was on my TBR list forever because of Melissa, and I really wanted to read the book, and so I got the ebook version, and then I started reading it on the Kindle, and I realized I think this is like a pretty old Kindle, and I found it very distracting to read just because of how slow it was, and just getting started with reading on an ebook again I think takes a bit of getting used to. And so I started looking into kind of what different ebooks there were on the market. Initially I thought I wanted the Kindle Color Soft, but then after a bit of research I realized that Kindle was not letting you properly own books. Like after you bought books you can't download them. And so I ended up looking into the Kobo Libra, and I realized that Indigo had a stake in the Kobo Libra, and so I was like, okay, that's nice. It's like it's not a Canadian owned, but it's a Canadian endorsed, and it's sold in Canadian bookstores. And so I kind of started leaning more towards getting a Kobo. Wow. So I loaded some books already off screen. That's why you can see Paradise on my sleep screen right now. And so yeah, I ended up choosing the Kobo Libra color because it's not within the Kindle ecosystem, and also because I really wanted the stylus, because I've been getting into the habit of annotating my books, and I just like having the ability to annotate and to highlight in color. It's like such a trivial thing, but I think just having the little colored highlights just make the reading experience better, and I just enjoy annotating a bit more because I do like making things look pretty, and like just having the ability to like highlight in color. I don't know why, it just makes the reading experience a bit more fun, a bit more customizable. And yeah, I don't know, like I thought it was worth it considering this is a device I'd own for a while and would be with me, and I would read so many books on it. Let's put on the screen cover and hope I don't mess this up. Oh, I just realized I put my fingerprints on the screen when I touched it to show you guys the highlight. So I should probably... And this is the only ebook on the market that has a stylus and the ability to kind of make handwritten annotations. And so this was pretty an obvious choice. But I wasn't sure if I'd like... Oh no, there's bubbles on the screen protector. I wasn't sure if I would like the size of this. And so I ended up going into Indigo and kind of like testing all the Kobos and trying to figure out which size I liked best. And I actually really liked the ones with the buttons. I don't know why, but like, I also like that you can read it horizontally and you can just use the buttons like this, or you can read it vertically and use the buttons or not use the buttons. Like, I think I just really like having options. Okay, there's still a little bit of bubbles, but I'll get that out later because I don't want to spend this entire video just like scrubbing away at my screen. And if my dad is watching this, he's probably horrified with how I apply it because he's very good at applying screen protectors, but I am not. So often at home, I just hand my phone to him and he does it for me. But he's not here, so I have to do this myself. I also got the Kobo Libra clear case. It's just a clear case, nothing special. But actually, I think we're gonna decorate the Kobo first, so I'll probably just leave the case here for now. And yeah, so let me explain why I decided to move towards a ebook ecosystem. I'm gonna add some stickers on the back. I have my John Darien sticker book, and I'll be grabbing my stickers from here. So yeah, I decided to get into the ebook system because I realized that ebooks are so much cheaper, and I also realized that the Kobo is integrated with Libby, and I live in Canada, so there's a lot of books available in ebook version in the Toronto Public Library database. I realized I could save a lot of money if I used or bought ebook versions of things instead. I also realized that ebooks are so much easier to carry because oftentimes I start 2 books at a time, or I read more than 1 book, and so having the ability to carry all my books in a single device is so much better for me in terms of being able to read anywhere. I can put my e-reader in any type of bag, and I can read on the go anywhere instead of like having to like decide if I should bring this book or that book. I also have an entire pros and cons list written out on my phone. And basically I think one of them was when I was reading on my Kobo in the public, I kind of realized that I lost that aspect of like, oh look, I'm reading in public kind of vibe. And I kind of reflected on that and realized it was both a pro and a con. On one hand, it kind of is a way to condition myself to not care as much about the performative aspects of reading. Because I feel like sometimes reading can be so performative, and like especially when you're reading in a cafe in public, it feels like you're like performing reading, and so when you're reading in an ebook, it almost like loses that sense of performativeness because no one actually knows what you're doing. Like no one knows if you're reading, what book you're reading, and I think that's the other that's the other pro, is that no one knows what book you're reading. They don't see the cover on the back of your book, so they can't judge you for what you're reading, especially if you're reading like Akatar or like Iron Flame, or like just books that you might not want strangers on the transit system to know that you're reading. But on the other hand, it does feel like you lose that kind of image that you get or like portray when you're reading. Large part on why I hesitated to moving towards an ebook ecosystem is because I do create content surrounding books. And if you watch enough bookish content, you kind of realize that everyone uses physical books. No one who's popular on Book Talk, at least not that I follow, read or talk about books in an ebook format, which I think it's kind of sad because I feel like a lot of us do read on an ebook just because of financial constraints, and also just because of the environmental constraints we have to reading. Like a lot of us read on our commute towards work or school, and not a lot of us have the luxury of being able to carry a large book around every day. And so I was kind of reflecting on if the fact that I don't want to use ebooks is because I lose that performative and that kind of social media performative aspect of reading and the ability to talk about books, then maybe I should consider switching to an ebook just as a way to kind of remove myself from that type of perspective, and also because it really does make me read more just due to the sheer feasibility of reading on an ebook. I still do kind of worry about how my content creation will look now that I read on an ebook though. I feel like when you have a physical book, it's easier to draw people's attention and it's easier to make things look aesthetic, but I feel like it's not worth that financial cost, and also constantly buying books is not that great for the environment, especially if you're not buying secondhand, and sometimes new books that come out aren't available in secondhand shops. At the end of the day, I feel like my content and the book reviews I create largely revolve around me reflecting on the books and my own personal opinions and the things that I'm saying, rather than just simply me holding up a book and saying I like it. And so hopefully this doesn't really affect my content or the quality of my content. Another thing I really like about the ebook though is the ability to read in the dark. because the screen lights up by itself, so I don't have to worry about a light source when I'm reading in the dark, which is not good for my eyes, as my mom frequently harped on me when I was younger, because I would read like I would have a set bedtime, and then I wouldn't want to sleep. I would just want to keep reading, and so I would just read under my duvet covers with like a torch or like with my phone flashlight. And yeah, I would also read in the car, and my mom got really annoyed that she asked the optometrist if reading in the car is bad for me, or reading in the dark is bad for me. I forgot what they said. Growing up, I always brought books with me everywhere, and I read everywhere, and I really do want to be able to do that again. There's so many books I want to read, and there's so little time, so I should make use of my time and just read a lot. If you guys have any experiences with e-readers, please do let me know your thoughts. I think it's a very interesting it can be a very interesting discussion to have in terms of ebooks versus physical books, and why social media kind of focuses more on the physical books and kind of that performative aspect, and I think it's also a lot about the image that holding a physical book portrays in comparison to holding technology. I think when you hold a physical book, it's almost symbolic. You could just leave this empty. I also have to put a pen holder, because the magnet on the side is not strong enough to hold the pen if I have it in my bag. And then I also really like these cute little ones. I also have a bunch of these stickers. More Calico Critter stickers. Oh, I really like this little dude with the tree. And speaking of books, I recently finished Beware of Pity, and as you could see from my screensaver, I moved on to Paradise by Toni Morrison, and I really enjoyed reading Beware of Pity. I probably have a review up on my Instagram page or my TikTok page right now. It deals with such interesting themes such as if pity and benevolence is ultimately selfish, and if once you start kind of being benevolent, if you can take that away, if you have a right to take that away. I think overall it was a very interesting book, and I definitely recommend anyone to read it, especially if it's still $1 on Kindle. I'm not sure if it is anymore, but you can check that out. This is the pen. Let's just unbox it really quick. And I really like that you can annotate on it. How I annotate, I find that I like to put it in the margins, and that you can't have your palm on the screen, which is kind of annoying, and so I just annotate. I like to annotate in the margins. That's what I do with physical books, so this is what I've been doing with my ebooks. And now I have a little pouch where I can just put my pen in, and it won't fall out when I put it in my bag, which is amazing. Should I just stick on here as well? I think if anyone saw this Kobo, they think like a crazy person or like a child owns it, because it's just fully like decked out in random calico stickers. But yeah, I think this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for staying with me while I decorate my Kobo Libra color, and I'll let you guys know how I enjoy reading on this. I think overall I'm really excited to use this just because it makes reading so much easier. There's so much more books I can access through Libby or from just buying them online for a much cheaper price, and I think I'll be reading more because I can take this around with me everywhere. And so yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys like my videos, make sure to subscribe because I post every Saturdays or Sundays on a weekly basis. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!